Oh, excellent. Okay, so this says this is a live stream, but try not to be too confused. It's actually not. So I like everything I do around here. It's all off the cuff, and by sudden inspiration and whim. So here's what we have, folks. So the eclipse is occurring. Oh, this week feet are killing me. The eclipse is occurring this week. And right now, some of you may be experiencing the calm before the storm. So there's almost this weird, like, cosmic wobble, like right before like everything breaks open. So if you think about what it feels like when a big storm is coming, there's that moment when everything gets really quiet, right? And really like kind of like a really calm tension in the air before everything breaks open and the rain starts pouring down. So we're kind of there because this eclipse is coming up on the, some astrologer I am, 26th, 27th. It is this week. I've got it in my phone, and I'll look at that in a minute. So just for grins and giggles, and mostly because I feel compelled to do this, we're going to go through each of the signs and how to work with this for you specifically based on where this eclipse is kind of lighting up the houses in your chart. Now, this is going to be really quick and dirty. Mostly because I have to be up at 5 in the morning. So, and we're going to start from the end of the sign. So we're starting from Pisces and we're working our way backwards. So for those of you who like to do your timestamp recording, understand we're working backwards right now. Okay, so Pisces, this eclipse will be occurring in your 12th house. It will be activating your 6th and your 3rd. The things to understand, remember, and to work with this particular eclipse is that there are many things going on behind the scenes, either working for you or against you, largely depending on how you've been feeding into this cycle of energy or how you've been investing in yourself. So if you've been going above and beyond and doing what needs to get done in your humble, quiet way, you know what I'm talking about, rewards will come. Also, too, your enemies. I'm not a big fan of enemies and jealous people and all sorts of stuff in a reading, but the people who would work against you will have quite the fall from grace this time. So you don't have to do anything and you're not being paranoid and you're not imagining things. Just get really quiet and let the information come to you. There's a whole lot of skeletons that are going to come tumbling out of other people's closets right now. That will be to your advantage because then you're going to know exactly who you're dealing with and they'll be getting theirs. So especially for my Pisces friends, I highly recommend taking this time to get deep and intense into your meditation or your visualization practice. Get into that quiet space and let your ancestors and your guides and your angels and whoever it is that you commune with, even if it's Cthulhu, the squid god, let them have that time and space with you to talk to you. There's information there you need to get, and they're going to get it to you one way or the other. But it's always easier when you've got the channel, the radio station tuned in clearly, and there's less static. All right, Aquarius. Oh my God, you guys are really getting nailed with this eclipse. Just what you wanted to hear, right? So many of you may be going through what feels a lot like an existential crisis. So you may feel like things are just literally coming to a head. So people and situations that were not supportive of you or have just been hindrances or not putting your needs to the forefront, even when it should have been, these things will become crystal clear right now. So the thing about it that I would say in this particular case is, like all things in life and adult relationships, it's not necessary to throw the baby out with the bathwater. If you feel like you've been in situations where other people have not been putting your best interest first, or everything that they do to help you is, one for you, two for me kind of thing. This is a very important time for you to get very honest with yourself about how you have let yourself down and allowed these situations to grow around you and how you've contributed to their existence. So, it's not a party of one in this situation, even though it may seem like it. This is actually an important growth cycle for you to really get clear about how this came into existence in your life and how you, my Aquarian friends, my lovely constantly experimenting with people, Aquarian friends, to get really honest for change about how you construct your own reality and how these relationships, even as dysfunctional as they are, have served their purpose. And from there, get to the root of the issue and start making changes. This is a great time to really build strong, amazing relationships with people, but you got to get through the crap first. And only you, my friend, only you can stop forest fires. And only you can get the crud off the top so you can actually see what you're working with. It all comes down to you, baby. Capricorn, I would like to say that this is going to be an easy eclipse for you, but it's not going to be, mostly because you have such an you have such a lifelong commitment to security and financial stability that anything that rocks that boat is enough to send you into heart palpitations. And this is going to be one of those times. So right now you're taking this eclipse in your second house of values and resources. So your values and your resources and your priorities are all going to be challenged right now. This is a very, very important time for you to ask yourself and to get in touch with the fact that maybe you've been using power and resources as a substitute for love. And maybe you've been using the need for respect, you will respect me, as a shield to keep you from getting too close to hurt you or disappoint you. Ultimately, all of these things have a lot to do with you coming to terms with your ability to share your space with other people and allow other people into your life to give you the love and the nurturing that you need and deserve also, but in the ways that they're capable of giving it to you. So judgment is going to be a big word with this eclipse, and it's very much going to be about whether your judgments of other people are fair or healthy, because it may be the very thing that's stopping you from getting the things that you really want from them. And this may require some sacrifice along the way. All right, Sagittarius, you will be taking this eclipse in your third house. You're got a lot. Oh my God. What is it? A rolling stone gathers no moss. So you will be very, very restless and searching for much more deeper meanings and an existential crisis, a lot like Aquarius is going through, or similar to what Aquarius is going through, but different, will be on the table right now. So a lot of this is going to have to do with you, ready, getting in touch with your prejudices and your biases and all of the misinformed opinions you've been walking around with all your life, and really holding yourself accountable for your thought processes and the things that you believed that maybe weren't so completely true, or maybe were so completely healthy. So there's a lot of mental, was it a cleanup in aisle 6? A cleanup in aisle 6. There's a lot of mental cleanup going on in your head right now about getting rid of and correcting a lot of outworn and outdated and unhealthy, toxic thinking patterns. Okay, so this is a phenomenal time to do psychotherapeutic stuff and really get clear about what you're believing and why you're believing that, and if that's even really something you should be believing in. But this is a lot of this. In the meantime, while this is going on, you may find that you're getting into a lot more philosophical, some people would call them discussions, other people would call them arguments, with the people around you, and especially people at work. So if you'd like to keep your job, I would maybe be a little careful about who I have these discussions with at my job site or with people I work with. And it could easily just be people around the house and all this sort of stuff. But this is definitely something you're going to need to work through into this eclipse. And this will not come easy, because nobody can rationalize and justify their opinions better than you can. You guys are like master justification artists. Okay, Scorpio. You will be taking this eclipse in your fourth house. This will come across your 7th and your 10th. You got a lot of stuff going on here. So, yeah. So Scorpio, one of the things that I would look for with this particular eclipse is a lot like Capricorn, issues of power and control are on the table. But for you in particular, this is going to have a lot more to do with you checking in with yourself and becoming really, really aware of your power or lack of power, how you are taking away other people's power or giving away too much of your own in your relationships, and for what ultimate end and goal. So some of you may find yourself in power struggles with authority figures, either at work, at home, on the street, in your car with police officers. I don't recommend that, but it can happen. Others of you may find yourself really like, going against the walls with a partner, in a relationship. This is a time of balance, believe it or not. So this is a very, very important time for you and the people you are in situations where there's a power dynamic involved for you guys to both get right with Jesus, and clean that mess up and come to a more equal footing with each other. And, Scorpio, because you are who you are, we know this will not come without lots of gnashing of teeth, bloodletting, and tears, because, that's just what you guys do. Okay. Libra, you'll be taking this eclipse in your 5th house. And for you, I have to think, but I'm literally doing this on the fly, so bear with me for a second. So for you, one of the things that I would look at, see, you guys. So I want to start here with a caveat. Most Librans are very sweet people, and they're very fair, and they're very high sense of ethics and integrity when it comes to their relationships of all kinds. But there are those Librans, and these are the ones who are going to be the most affected by this eclipse, who are, I hate to say it, you guys are as sneaky as snakes, and you're not above helping yourself to other people's partners, with or without their knowledge and consent. You know who you are. So for those Librans out there who've been slipping and dipping and turning corners with people they shouldn't have been, and borrowing a cup of sugar in somebody's husband or wife, or both, this is not going to be the best time. You're really going to have to come to some terms with that. And you may find that this is all, those roosters are coming home to roost. So this is a very important time for you to ask yourself where you are spinning your wheels. Where are you putting your creative energy that's not healthy? For those of you who are artistic or are creative or doing in the midst of creative projects, this should be a phenomenally creative time for you. For those of you who are doing a whole lot of Jerry Springer nonsense, Jerry Springer television show, you will find that this is the time where you're really going to have to face the music and ask yourself why you're doing this. And a lot of this has to do with misplaced creative energy. So that's time and energy you could be spending creating beautiful things instead of beautiful messes. Welcome to the eclipse. And Virgo, you'll be taking this eclipse in your personal house, the 6th house. Woohoo, aren't you excited? And we are under this Mercury station. Because, God is a comedian. So with Virgo, one of the things that I would look for, right now under this eclipse are situations that really test your faith, believe it or not. So this is a period of faith testing. And this could come in the form of completely unexpected, bizarre circumstances, right? I don't know, a car falls out of a cargo airplane and lands on your house. I don't know. It could be anything. Or it could come in the form of disruptions, literally in your routines, your environments, and just your everyday affairs that just come like literally out of left field because of other people. At the end of the day, this eclipse is very much about your faith and your ability to have faith and optimism and confidence that these are all things playing out for better reasons. You are so hyper rational. It is extremely difficult for you to let go and let God. But this is the time when you will be backed into that particular corner and you're not going to have a choice. You can either let go and let God, or you can have a nervous breakdown. That's pretty much the only 2 choices you're going to get right now. All right. Leo, my lovely Leos. You will be taking this eclipse in your 7th house. Now, in your particular case, some of the things that I would look for a lot of pushback from other people. So, the thing about it is people are very sensitive right now, and people's egos are a lot of people's egos are very easily threatened, as it were. And you by nature are very confident. You're kind of like, I am here and I am loving life, sort of thing. It's not your nature to play wallflower. So people can see your confidence and your exuberant optimism and your complete, unabashed, shameless love of yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. Instead of seeing this as something to aspire to and model themselves after, they might see this as something that kind of pushes all their insecurity buttons and makes them painfully aware of how they're not loving themselves enough. So this eclipse will put you in positions of leadership, and leadership meaning leading from the heart, not bullying people around, okay, and not setting bad examples. So studying the art of leadership, real, genuine leadership that motivates and inspires people, this is your call to action at this time. If you are not coming from a place of love where you are trying to lead by empowering the people underneath you and around you, you will find that you're going to get a lot of pushback from a lot of people, and it's not going to be fun. And your authority will be challenged at every level by every single person you come in contact with, practically. So there is your eclipse message. Cancer, this eclipse will be taking place in your 8th house. In your particular case, with this 8th house, so the thing with Cancer, and you guys know, correct me if I'm wrong, but you know I'm not wrong. The thing with Cancer is very much about teamwork. Like, it's all about team us, and you're either on the team or you're not on the team. Like, there is no halfway. You're inside the castle or you're outside the castle. But either way, the drawbridge is going up and there's the moat. So you guys are all about togetherness and teamwork and all that sort of stuff. And right now, this particular eclipse is really going to challenge. It's really going to challenge matters of fairness, equal distribution, and codependence. So your tendency to squirrel money away and not tell your partners, and to leverage situations ever so slightly in your favor and not tell people about it. Like it will all be, a light will be shined upon it very brightly at this time. So you will know, you will be informed very quickly why other people are not okay with this and called to the carpet on it. So this is a time for clearing the table and redistributing the wealth and the resources and the assets. You should be prepared for this, because if you're not prepared for this, it's just going to be difficult, and you could lose a lot of friends in the process. I'm just saying. So Gemini, this eclipse will take place in your 9th house. Got to think about this for a second. And of course, this is not your natural house. This is the house opposite of yours. So Gemini, the things that I would look for under this particular eclipse. Yeah, see, the things that I would look for in this particular eclipse, I would look for, actually, believe it or not, a lot of psychic phenomena occurring, like completely out of the blue sort of stuff. So keep your eyes and your ears open for messages from the great beyond. And remember, not all messages are good messages. You have no idea who you're dealing with on the other side, because you could just easily be dealing with a crazy person that is still crazy on the other side, as an axe murderer, as a saint and a holy man. Like, you don't know. So this is a very important time to learn how to protect yourself and to tune into the right frequency to pull in higher level entities. Okay, because they're going to be everywhere. Like, your radar's up and on right now. Which also means that you should listen to those gut instincts. So if you have an intuition or hunch or just like a feeling about something, you should absolutely follow through on it, no matter how subtle it might seem, because it may lead to something very important. Okay? All right. And Taurus, you will be taking this eclipse in your 10th house. Whee! Yikes. So I want to give you better news, and I want to give you happy, optimistic news. And it's going to be a little difficult because you guys do not like any disruption to your routine ever. And this is so disruptive. So for Taurus, the eclipse in your 10th house, in this particular eclipse in your 10th house, is going to activate a lot of stuff that's really going to force you. That's what's going on. This is really going to force you to re-examine what you have in terms of skills and abilities and resources to be self-sufficient. So self-sufficiency is going to be the thing, like the big, like a buzzer, right? That kind of gets activated with the eclipse. Some of you may find that your careers or your jobs are going to be changed. Okay. It may be eliminated. You may be moved to a different department. You may be asked to move to another state. There's something about your career and your professional standing that's going to go through some challenges right now. And challenge meaning it's not going to maintain the routine that you're accustomed to. And we know how you hate changes to your routine. So any change to your routine is a challenge. Okay. And with that said, a lot of this is still going to come back to the business about being self-reliant and what skills do you have to work with, and what do you have in terms of assets and resources to carry you over in worst case scenarios. this is the theme that's working with this eclipse, and you'll become very, very in tune with that as we get through this eclipse, because you'll definitely be asking yourself those questions. And Aries, this eclipse will be taking place in your 11th house. So this is a bit of a weird one. So we can expect some unexpected circumstances, like things that just come completely out of the blue, like nobody could have seen this coming. And this could also involve, because it's 11th house, large groups of people. So your social circle or your networking, because the 11th house is networking, or your networks of people may undergo radical changes at this time and undergo a stress test. In this particular case, this could have a lot to do, again, with issues of love and being loved, and also resources. So if you've been having difficulty separating stuff from feeling loved, like if you're one of these Aries, and there are a lot of them, you know, if you're one of these Aries that likes to have stuff as a symbol of how loved you are, material things as a show of being loved, this is going to be on, what is it, the cross at this point. You're really going to have a come to Jesus moment about what really matters in life. So there may be some financial wobbles that go with this. If they do, these will be all like unpredictable circumstances that nobody could have prepared for. And also too, could absolutely involve networks and groups of people and all that sort of stuff. So I probably wouldn't invest in any traveling circuses. Yeah. But in this particular instance, and just to finish up with Aries, in this particular instance, one of the things that I would look for is this may also be a challenge for you to find more creative, well, yeah, I mean, basically more creative money-making schemes to increase your income or your financial standing. So this is the, we're going to focus the lens down to tiny, 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 right? So this is the aperture that we have for the individual signs for this eclipse. Again, this will not be an easy eclipse. Depending on where you're living right now, it's, you know, it is the fun time follies here in the United States. It's been quite the show. And we're not going to get into it because that is depressing. And I do need to get some sleep. I don't want to have nightmares tonight. I'm having trouble sleeping these days. But at the end of the day, regardless what governments and countries and politics and the great, big, larger forces out there are doing, we still have to mind our affairs here, you know, in our personal lives on a day-to-day level. So with it, so even if the aliens come tomorrow and land on the White House building and announce their presence, because they're all, you know, children of Cthulhu, the squid god, and they're here to eat us. We still have to, chop wood, carry water. So we still have to tend to our daily affairs. So that is your call to action for this particular eclipse. Work with it as best you can this week. We will be feeling this eclipse all this week. And like I said, we're kind of in like a little bit of a quiet lull right now, which is a little ominous. But don't be scared. Don't be scared. So we'll be feeling it right up to the eclipse. This particular eclipse, remember, activates instantly. So we may be finding stuff that just comes up into our consciousness or awareness that really drives these points home. And it will remain in effect for at least a week after. And remember, this eclipse gets activated a couple more times before it's completely over. Technically, the eclipse is in effect for 6 months after it's hit. So it's kind of like ripples in a pond. So you have multiple eclipses and you have multiple ripples. So it's these things just kind of like go on and on and on for a couple of months. But the big stuff is going to hit this week. So if you work with it, the most important thing to understand in life, with anything, is if you take the energy and you work with it and you give it context and a place to exist that makes sense, where it's productive, you will ameliorate most of the negative stuff. We can't get rid of all the bad things in life, or all the stressful things in life. We need those things. We need those things for 100 different reasons. But ultimately, negative and stressful is not the same thing as destructive. Okay, so we can get a lot of the more unnecessarily destructive, disruptive things under control just by giving these energies a place to go. So take your sun sign or your rising sign. If you know your rising sign, that's best. If you don't know your rising sign, use your sun sign and look at where this eclipse is falling in your chart patterns to see how to make best use of it. Okay. All right, and I'm about to go. Oh, that's an interesting question. So Suzanne Walker asks, if someone who passed that was a Gemini, will they be more active on this side with the eclipse? Kind of the reverse of what you said for Gemini. That's a great question. And I had never thought about that. And I don't think anybody's ever asked me that before. So what I would say is everything's possible. You know, in the new physics, one of the things that they talk about is that we don't actually ever really go anywhere. We transform out of our physical bodies into energy, just like water can transform from solid matter, right, in the form of an ice cube, to a gas in the form of steam, into a liquid, the form of water. Water has three different physical states it can actually be in without ever giving up the identity of water, right? Because water is always H2O no matter what form it takes. So in the new physics, one of the things that they believe and talk about also is that we are the same way. So we're a lot like water. We may change physical form and how we are appearing, but we're still who we are, right? We're still H2O. So if that is in fact the case, there's absolutely every reason to believe that Geminis would be active on their side of the veil, even though we're not necessarily seeing them in physical form. So if you know somebody who is a Gemini that has passed and you're getting conversations or, you know, tapping on the shoulder or stuff like that, like absolutely, like let us know like what your experiences were, because they should be interesting. And I have no reason to doubt that this would not work the same on the other side for them. Oh, yeah, no problem. Yeah, let me know what comes up. So it would be, the stories will be interesting. I'm looking forward to stories. And I think that's it. So it is 9:40 here on, you know, my time, and I have to be up at 5 in the morning. So I'm going to go to bed, but I wanted to share that with you guys so that we can kind of, you know, focus the aperture down and do something with this energy rather than having it do stuff to us. And again, remember, this is really a wackadoodle eclipse. And you know, we talked about that in the other videos. You can go back and look if you want to. So be very gentle with other people, because people who are more stressed out, specifically Trump supporters right now, people who are more stressed out are really like more capable of going off the rails in a big way. And without any warning. And worse, these will not be the people we expect. So this is not going to be like these guys who held up the wildlife park that Trump just pardoned, like had a 14-day standoff or something. Like we expect it from them. You know, we expect this stuff from these neo-Nazis, like these wackadoodles, right? But we don't expect it from suburban dad, you know, with a golf shirt and the lawnmower, right? And he's exactly the person that's most likely to pop off like a crazy person right now. So the people we need to worry about the most are the people we expected from the least right now. So remember that. So be very gentle with people, you know? All right. Good. You guys are awesome. I hope this helps, and I'll talk to you soon.